Howdy, everybody. Welcome to Liberty Libations number 162. I'm your host, Jake Green. Tonight, we were supposed to have an interesting guest, a former mission director of USAID. He has flaked on us, no explanation. So we're going to straw man his arguments tonight and just take down the entire idea of USAID. Actually, no, we're not going to do that. We're also going to address some updates to the Epstein saga and some fallout that's happening in Minnesota. And to help me do all this without any guests tonight is Nick Ciesielski and Zane Placie. How y'all doing?
Doing well. Doing well.
Nick, what
Almost
are you
for a
drinking?
week. Hopefully about to polish off this bottle of Yellowstone bourbon.
There we go. Zane, what do you got? That looked fancy.
So, there's been a proliferation of sparkling water brands recently, but there's one called Spindrift, which actually puts a little bit of the fruit juice in the sparkling water, which, Spindrift, if you're listening, definitely reach out to us to start advertising. But I took some grapefruit Spindrift and then put some peach schnapps and some mango rum just to top it off.
How about that? I don't mind it. I'm drinking the usual Ardbeg Wee Beastie. Yeah. Heck of a week, y'all. The Epstein stuff is continuing, which we're going to get to right now. Let's watch this very awesome video of Pam Bondi. Oh, boy.
The Dow right now is over. Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about. We should be talking about making Americans safe. We should be talking about, what does a Dow have to do with anything? That's what they just asked. Are you kidding?
Mr. Jordan, Mr. Jordan.
Committee?
So according to the redheaded libertarian, the question was, why have you not indicted the satanic baby-eating pedos who rule the world? That was her answer. The internet is winning with this. It's being phenomenal. So here's one.
Fix you some of this Numo cocoa drink. All natural cocoa beans from the upper slopes of Mountain Nicaragua. No artificial sweeteners.
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
Fix you some of.
Oh, the internet's killing it. So yeah, that was Pam Bondi, and basically refusing to actually answer questions about why she's not indicting anybody and investigating anybody that have been found in the Epstein files, which we get more and more information. I personally definitely maintained throughout the whole time we're never going to get anything from these Epstein files. That may not be the case anymore. Interesting stuff is happening, and I'm very intrigued as to what more people are going to find, and some of the things people are doing with it, like making interactive conspiracy webs where you can go in.
That, yeah.
Dude, that was one of the coolest things anyone's done with the Epstein files. So
and we covered jmail.world last episode where we went through that, which lays everything else out in a nice email format that you can actually kind of read and understand what's going on.
Yeah. But as far as trying to cover something up, which clearly Pam Bondi is trying to, just deflect. She's doing a horrible job at it. I don't know how she doesn't get in trouble from all of this.
She's been doing a horrible job with everything. I don't know one good thing that she's done. When they initially came out, remember when Trump initially got elected, he was trying to appoint Gates, and Matt Gaetz is, probably was too much of a rogue for the Senate to confirm, I guess, or whatever. They might have actually done something.
Maybe.
So he replaced that nomination with her, and she's just absolutely terrible on everything. I mean, if you pay attention to the gun rights groups, she's constantly having the briefs filed arguing against gun rights that should be ours as far as firearms. She's coming out and defending and maybe to some extent you have to, but there's you could kind of strictly play by the you can tilt it to the point where it's yeah, I'm putting up a defense, but it's not a very good defense because this law shouldn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of basically concede on it, which I thought we were supposed to be the most transparent and the most two-way friendly administration ever, and she is just absolutely horrible on everything. And I mean, you go back to the original Epstein binders, right? Hey, let's just package all the files everyone's already seen into binders and get a huge bunch of Twitter influencers here and give it to them and do a photo op.
It's the Epstein rebrand.
Everyone's not going to find out immediately what's in those binders and see, oh, there's nothing here. And you trash the integrity of all of them, which I mean, they all kind of deserve. And then we're trying to at least play along to some extent. And then, it's this is part one the whole time. They're on my desk. They're coming. And then it's no, we're not going to do it. And then you have to
not only that, now
literally ram an act of Congress through to get things released.
Yeah, dude, it's wild what she's doing. It's indefensible. And she should be. I mean, she should be investigated. She's broken the law multiple times. She's just not good at her job. She's worse than who was that the press secretary that was terrible under Biden? What was her name?
Circle back to
Karine Jean-Pierre.
Yes, Karine Jean-Pierre. Bondi is worse at her job than Karine Jean-Pierre was at hers.
Well. The real question is, who's controlling Bondi and how is it Mossad?
Yeah.
Right? That's the only explanation I can think of here.
The problem with trying to have a take on this clip is everything that you could possibly come up with is so obvious that everyone has already thought of it. 5 seconds after they see it. This is the sort of clip where it's if you were training a 7-year-old how to be a political podcaster, you would be here, react to this clip, and they would say, wow, it's so funny that they're saying the DOJ is it should be talking about the stock market. That has nothing to do with the Department of Justice. Duh.
Yeah, I mean,
as a lawyer,
it's nothing but good videos. You would think
as
so,
a lawyer,
man.
you should be able to deflect and everything like that. And she's just sitting there, let's look at the stock market. That has nothing to do with your job,
dude. Kamala was the same way. Is it just something about the water in DC? As soon as these people get involved in DC, they become stupider. Because Kamala was
before.
But dude, I swear she got worse as soon as she started running for president. As soon as she started running for president, she got her sentences got dumber and more childlike and way more Trumpian, where he just speaks in second grade English, just a few words at a time, and tries to put second grade concepts together. Bondi's doing the same. Bondi's at fourth grade level, trying to somehow overshadow the Epstein files with how good the stock market's doing.
That's actually an interesting point about what grade level people are speaking at and how it's kind of a similarity between Trump and Kamala Harris, that they were doing something similar. Yeah. I remember even in 2016, I saw some kind of analysis where they said of all of the people running for the Republican nomination in 2016, Trump spoke at the lowest comprehension. It was second or third grade, and then it was some random person like George Pataki spoke at a 10th grade level, and he was the highest. And they were trying to put this out, I guess, trying to clown on Trump and saying that he was stupid. or that he was only appealing to stupid people. But the thing about listening to Trump speak is that everyone thinks that it's hilarious. And when you listen to him talk, you don't feel like you're being demeaned just by listening to them. Whereas whenever you listen to Kamala Harris say anything, it's like whenever there's no way you can listen to the sentence, "I love Venn diagrams," in the way that she said it and not feel like you're being demeaned.
Yeah, that's so true.
There's this big country called Russia, and it's next to a little country called Ukraine.
That was exactly what I was about to chime in with.
Yeah, no, that was the worst one of all time. But yeah, the memes around Pam Bondi have been going crazy. We'll just show you one more before we get to an actual interesting thought. But Pam Bondi says that if we prosecute everybody in the Epstein files, the whole system will collapse.
I'll make that deal. How about you, bitch? You make that deal?
I'd make that deal.
I don't blame you. Damn good deal.
Inglourious Bastards. I think it's Tarantino's best movie. Was Inglourious Bastards. I know people think it's half his other stuff, but that movie was incredible. Let's see. Zach says she's doing her job, but she doesn't work for us. That is true.
But I said she works for Mossad.
Pandering to the lowest common denominator. Yes. And don't threaten me with a good time. There you go. All right. There was something interesting. Someone leaked a photo of Pam Bondi's notebook as she was opening it. And that's the photo that was taken. And it's showing the search history of folks who have looked through the Epstein files. So this is, can't pronounce this person's name.
Jayapal
Pramila, whatever. And it shows everybody that person searched and every file that person opened. And what the comment says is leaked photos of Pam Bondi's binder show she had the DOJ make a record of the search history of members of Congress while they were looking through the Epstein files. That's bizarre. Why would she do that? Like, what's the point of that? Is that, I don't know. Like, I don't know how generally the federal DOJ works. So, can someone come up with a good, like an actual legit reason why they would be tracking the web activity of members of Congress as they search the files?
Well, it's not necessarily the web activity, right? So members of Congress under the law are allowed to see unredacted versions of things that are publicly released. So,
okay. Yeah.
so what they're probably doing is whenever they pull those files, because then they have to probably go into a SCIF to get that to see that, so they can't have their phone in there, and then whatever's being accessed is logged, so they know, okay, this person's logged and pulled this up. So yeah, they're tracking what it is, because
okay,
I guess you have to, so that's how they're getting it. They're not just tapping the computers and in the office and seeing what they're pulling up.
Okay,
but I mean, what are you going to do, right? Because it's Thomas Massey is making the point that, like, hey, some of these names need to be released. I've seen them, and I'm going to go read them out loud on the House floor, so you can't do anything about to me.
Yeah.
If you don't, so.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take that as a legitimate way to go about tracking that. Now,
why would she have that list? Probably to some extent, some blackmail activity or some pressure in the background or something.
Possibly,
right?
But
why
like I put things in binders that I'm never going to use, but information that I might need at some point in time. Like, I don't know. That one was just interesting to me, and I wanted to know why. And I am now realizing that there's an actual answer to it. So, yeah, we weren't going to spend much time on this. We're spending a lot more time on it than I had originally intended, because we were supposed to have a guest, in case y'all didn't know. He is the USAID former mission director. His name's Clifford Brown. He wrote a book that we're not going to promote on here anymore. And he has a bunch of very emotionally driven takes on why USAID is a good thing. We're not going to really address any of those. Instead, what we're going to do is talk about why USAID was shut down after Zane explains the 2% of projects that may have been done by USAID that were actually good.
Okay, so a lot of people's idea of what foreign aid is like we send people and like materials and stuff over to poor people that really need it, and then their lives become much better than they were for essentially pennies from the perspective of how much it costs to do it. And they're like, well, if we can make this big of an impact, why would we not like give people foreign aid? Look at how helpful it is. Or rather, look at how helpful I imagine it is based on my imagination of what is accomplished through foreign aid. But people's imagination of what it is really a very small component of what it is. So, like, for example, as longtime viewers of the show will know, my sister was just a Peace Corps volunteer in Kenya for 2 years. And I guarantee that she was doing really good work. And that's, you know, of all of the ways that tax money gets used, that's low down on the list of what I would complain about. Actually, because she was over there during the process of USAID losing all their funding, a lot of the Peace Corps grant money kind of dried up. And so she would have otherwise gotten like Peace Corps money to do a big project near the end of her term of service. But she ended up not getting that money, and so she had to raise it herself, which, surprise, surprise, because it was actually a worthwhile project, she did do without even too much trouble. Because it's just like anything else on the market where people are free to engage or not engage. She told people what her project was. People could tell that she was a trustworthy person doing good work, and they decided, yes, I will trust you with this money to do the project that you're trying to do. But for the vast majority of what foreign aid is, and especially with USAID, which, I mean, there have just been so many people that have come out and said that it's essentially an extension of the CIA. You can't even dispute it anymore. Like that, they're doing things like funding coups in Ukraine in 2014. And like funding coups in a bunch of other random Central Asian countries, all these like color revolutions. They're bribing bureaucrats. They're funding infrastructure projects that have no hope of ever actually attaining the results that they say, and it's just a big payday to the contractors. So, and it's because there's no oversight. Like, you have to pay your taxes regardless of whether you think the aid is helpful or not. So because they're not accountable to anyone, then there is no pressure on them to actually do anything useful, in the same way that almost any charity that you would donate to, if you go on their website or if you take their flyers, the good ones will have like their ratings from like Charity Navigator or other organizations that rate charities on how transparent they are and how much of their money actually goes to doing what their main purpose is. So you can evaluate your different options for donation, and then essentially the charities have to, I don't want to say compete, because in the context of charitable donation, the word compete kind of has a weird connotation to it. But in a certain way, the charities do have to compete for donor money, but that ensures that they're actually doing good work, as opposed to organizations that don't have to compete for anything because you have to give them money, and then it just becomes, well, we're gonna do these kind of shady operations, and we're gonna give it the veneer of giving starving people food.
Yeah.
That's why.
Go ahead, Nick.
That's why you had some platforms, like, if you guys remember, DonorSeek, back before the founder, back before the founder was untimely murdered. That was a weird story.
Didn't know that.
I think it still exists. But yeah, because Tom Woods would always have him on. But right, that the whole thing there was like, hey, we're going to ask very specific money for very specific little things in these countries where we're working at. And then we're going to show you videos, whether it's, hey, hearing aids for this child or a person or anyone, then you're going to see them here. Or, hey, we got to build a house for this person. It's not going to cost much here, but it's shelter. We're going to, send you a video when it's done. Right. I mean,
yeah,
that's the kind of return people want when they're like, I want to help someone. I can't go over to Africa and spend time. I've got, commitments here. I've got whatever else, but hey, someone else is willing to do it. Let's get them what they need there. And then you see, hey, what I gave actually resulted in what I was told it was going to. And so, yeah, when you have something like that versus, these big giant charities that you end up looking and you see like 50, 60, 70% goes to their overhead. I mean,
yeah. Yeah. That's the issue. And it's a problem. And with USAID, it's not something that you can choose not to fund. Whereas with a charity, you can choose not to fund it, and those charities can go out of business. And we're about to have Kevin Leatherbarrow join the pod tonight as soon as he gets set up back there. Kevin, just give me a thumbs up whenever you're ready to hop on, man. So, yeah, what I was saying is basically USAID, you're forced to fund it whether you want to or not. And some of the things it does is good, but it's a very tiny percentage. And I'm going to bring on Kevin right now. So here we go. Kevin Leatherbarrow, what's up, buddy? Can you hear us?
What's up? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sweet. How you doing tonight, man?
Great. Nothing like a last minute. That's great. I'm all right. How are you
There
guys?
we go. Doing well, man. Yeah, I appreciate you hopping on last minute to replace the former mission director for USAID, who was supposed to be on here tonight.
Oh, well, glad I could do it.
Heck yeah.
What are we talking about?
Right now, we're talking about why it was a good thing that USAID get defunded. And we're trying to kind of steel man the argument that folks have for why we should have kept USAID. And I mean, the majority of the time, what I hear when I'm arguing this point is that, like, oh, you want poor people to starve. You want these people to get sick. You don't want them to get the medicine that they need or that they deserve. And that's not the best argument. From the standpoint where you're forcing me with the threat of a jail cell to pay for this stuff. And not only that, yeah, go ahead.
Well, not to mention, if you're saying, oh, we've got the poor people we've got to get them the food, the medicine, this, that. I mean, you still got the same problems here at home, and you expect me to think that you're going to also figure out how to fix that problem on the other side of the world before you can even figure anything out here on all of this. Or not only are you not fixing it here, but the policies you have continue to perpetuate and make the whole problem generally worse to some extent.
It's important to point out that even the Peace Corps itself, which of all of the different foreign aid things that the U.S. does, again, I'm personally biased, but probably the most helpful, was primarily established to improve the PR of the United States with other countries.
Yes.
It was not primarily because we thought, wow, this is really going to make a huge impact in a lot of people's lives on a big scale. I'm sure that each individual Peace Corps volunteer feels like the people that they helped were really helped. But it's like the purpose of letting everyone know that we have the Peace Corps, even though the size of the Peace Corps program itself is not really that big, is, wow, give us a pat on the back for how much we're helping everyone else.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of where it started. Gravionics in the chat says, paraphrasing former State Department dude Mike Benz, when it's too dirty for the CIA, you give it to USAID. That is.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think this came up on the episode of the Joe Rogan Experience that Mike Benz did, where he was like, USAID was literally funding Ukrainian opposition media in the run up to the coup in 2014. It's like, and like, I don't remember exactly, but they may have even been like making campaign contributions to like opposition candidates. And it's like, even if they weren't officially doing that, they probably were doing it under the table. And it's like, also there are stories that like they were paying to put on rock concerts to drive people out to the protests, and like paying for all these space heaters and like tents for people to be able to be at the protest when it was that cold. It's like, yeah, this is not giving like poor people MREs. At least that's not what 99% of it is. And even when it is that, like, everyone knows, I mean, that's just the most common example. Like in Haiti in 2010, after their big earthquake, we send warehouses full of supplies, and then they just sit in the warehouse because there was not a good plan to actually distribute it to the people. Yeah. So, and I mean, everyone knows that the U.S. military is horrible at this. Like, the U.S. military's idea of development is literally, like, I've literally heard that they do this or did this when we were in Iraq at some point. Like, just going around giving out pallets of cash. And so maybe it's not that bad for USAID, but it's like, still, there's no, and it's all because of the incentives. Again, like, if you're a bureaucrat, like, I'm sure you would prefer for people to get the supplies rather than not get them. But how much do you prefer that they get them to not get them, that you'll actually work hard to make sure that that happens? And you probably won't work very hard, as we keep saying, if there is no accountability.
Yeah. So Kevin, hang on, Nick. Kevin, I was waiting for you to be able to get caught up with the conversation so you could give your opinions. So yeah, what are your thoughts on because the only reason we're talking about this tonight, like, obviously the USAID stuff happened last year, and it was a huge thing. The only reason we're talking about it is because our guest was supposed to be telling us about his experiences over there as the mission director. And so, yeah, what are, looking back on it, like, what are your thoughts on the effectiveness of USAID and the legitimacy as far as us having to pay for it?
I agree with Zane. They just load it all up. It sits in warehouses for I don't know how long. It probably, is a good strategic through the CIA to stockpile all of our needs and rationings to be able to distribute to our military whenever they get wherever they get from one point to the other point. I don't look. I mean, when we're giving all of this out and we see it just sit there, and we have these pallets and these things and it's just moved all over the place, right? What are people supposed to think? I mean, where is it actually going, and who does it actually go to? We never get a receipt. Does anybody ever see a receipt? I don't see a full receipt. I don't know about you guys, but I do not see a receipt. I would like to see.
You see some PR stuff. You see some very, very fancy videos that they make of their journeys through through the different countries and different continents. But you don't see what actually the impact is. I was trying to look up statistics for all this, because one of the biggest things that people were saying after we cut USAID is millions of people are going to die because USAID got cut. And from what I can tell, I had about 35 tabs open earlier today trying to figure out exactly how many lives we were saving and how many lives we lost after we cut the program. And every single one was just a guess and a broad estimation. And that's not, if a business was run that way, it would be shut down tomorrow. Like, you have to have specific data to back up why you're sending resources to a specific region, to a specific area of your company. Like, in no way, shape, or form have any of the numbers that I've seen backed up how much money we were spending on this program.
Well, and compelling evidence that not very many people died as a result of it is that if it really were the case that they would have, I have a feeling people would have tried to like do it themselves.
Yes.
Because like, oh no, it's so
Sure.
important that we continue sending this essential medicine for a disease that we're about to eradicate. I feel like that was something that people were saying at the time.
Yeah.
Although I
If
forget
that
what
was the-
case it was. But it's like, if that's true, then how about you actually convince me to give you my money voluntarily, which if I was convinced that you were right, I would do. And many people also would do it as well. And the
Stand
fact
by.
that nobody did is compelling evidence that it was all a scam.
We're getting hit with another earthquake. Hold on. You
Whoa.
felt that? Yeah, we're shaking the buildings right now.
I see it shaking. Yeah.
Holy
crap,
man.
we're having another good jolt. That had to be another 3 or so. We're still going.
Wow.
It's the most exciting thing that's ever happened live here.
Live, having an earthquake. My go bags are right around the corner. Pack it up.
Kevin, grab a mic, go out into the street and do some on the street reporting.
Zane, to your point, where are all of these great concerts we used to have? If people are actually, and they would come out and feed the family, feed whichever. We have these great concerts, and the community would come together, the bands come together, and they have all of these wonderful things because we shut down this whole industry, I guess, and people are going to be dying. Where are all the music stars? Why aren't they putting on all these wonderful shows that would send billions of dollars over there in today's money when they did it in the 80s and the 90s?
Seriously.
Where
That's
are
They're
they?
busy singing Imagine on their yacht.
Aren't they connected to Hollywood?
Oh, that's great. Yeah. They like the number of folks that
Stand by. We're still getting interference.
Uh-oh. Did I lose y'all?
No,
I'm here.
we're
Okay,
here.
there we go. No, I think I cut out for a second. Yeah, the number of like big time celebrities, music artists, movie stars that could like fund something like a fundraiser like that, where people could voluntarily give their money. That would be something that I wouldn't necessarily support it depending on the cause, but that would be something that people would get behind. And the issue is, or the issue with that I can think of is, there was a whole scandal after the fires in Hawaii where Oprah was running a fundraiser and saying, help me donate $500 million or however many $1 million. I don't remember how much it was, but help me donate this specific amount of money to the victims of the fires. Well, it turns out she didn't donate a single penny. It was all of her supporters that donated. And meanwhile, she's a friggin' billionaire. So like, these people don't put their money where their mouth is, and they're always the ones whining about us not supporting people in need and not supporting people abroad and not backing people in Ukraine and all this garbage. When it's just, Billie Eilish said it this past week, like no one is illegal on stolen land, but she sits in a like $11 million mansion that is on like supposedly stolen land, and she's not going to give it up. So
Well, to be fair, the best eviction attorney in Los Angeles reached out and said, hey, whatever tribe it is, you want to get your land back? Hit me up. She just admitted it's stolen.
That's
so there's great. That. But I mean, we did cover at one point, like Mr. Beast going out to Africa and drilling all those water wells.
Actually, we have another Mr. Beast thing right now. If you want to talk about that,
one more.
I didn't even know that.
Quick thing.
Okay.
Which is there cannot be any talk of simply reforming USAID, because I'm sure if Clifford Brown were here, he would say, "Yeah, there is some bad stuff around the edges. We really just need reform so that they can get back to doing all the good stuff that they do." And the key libertarian insight is that cannot possibly happen. Correct. As long as the incentive structure is set up the way that it is and it's funded the way that it is, there is literally no way for it to only do good stuff and not do the bad stuff.
Kevin needs USAID now.
The only way
with the earthquake in Great Falls. That's great. Zane, keep going. Sorry, buddy.
So the only way to have good stuff be done without all the bad stuff is for people to do it voluntarily.
Right.
Agreed.
There's like
Let me play. Hang on, Nick. Let me play this video from. Is about Mr. Beast and USAID. So and Bill Gates.
Mr. Beast was going to pivot into some Bill Gates type fake meat the moment his foundation inked a direct partnership with the head of USAID. Because what I saw was this. Mr. Beast showed a $200 million lab where no chickens are harmed to make genetically grown chicken meat. This is like a Bill Gates fake meat project. I didn't even know that it was a Bill Gates sponsored fake meat project. All I knew is that USAID and Bill Gates, who is also one of the biggest public-private partners of USAID, Bill Gates, both through Microsoft and through his Gates Foundation, were both promoting fake meat while Bill Gates is personally invested in fake meat. From Forbes, Bill Gates wants rich countries to move to 100% synthetic beef, 100% fake food, a prominent investor in fake meat companies. I didn't say that Mr. Beast got the call from Bill Gates. There's a lot of reasons to do business with these people. You make a lot of guap, you make a lot of money, your brand becomes brand safe. You knew Mr. Beast.
So that's an interesting thing. I mean, obviously it's not so much about Mr. Beast. It's more about the fact that Bill Gates is trying to get these other continents and other countries to go full synthetic food with his own companies.
Well, we saw what happened when they tried to push the plant fake meat stuff, and everyone in all those companies that they jacked the stock price way up have been crashing and shutting down like crazy because no one wants that slop.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, so the synthetic meat kind of comes on a spectrum, and it wasn't clear from that video where like what they were talking about, because on one end you've got like the impossible food beyond meat kind of thing where it's not even close to being meat. It's like 100%.
It's also not even vegetables.
Artificial. That just they combine into a simulacrum that impersonates meat. So you've got that on one end. And then on the other end, you've got like essentially it's apparently possible to like grow animal tissue in a lab and like stimulate it to grow using electrical currents and stuff.
That's what this was.
And so you can still call that fake meat, but in some sense, it is actually real meat because it is actual animal tissue.
I disagree.
It just didn't come from a real.
Well, synthetic maybe kind of works as that. You know, it's hard to.
I'm sorry, if you're growing it in a lab, I don't care what it comes from. It's not natural meat that I want to ingest. There's just no way that doesn't have any side effects, that is good for you, that has everything that regular meat, all the proteins and nutrients that regular meat has. There's just no way, unless proven otherwise, I refuse to believe that is the case.
I completely agree. You're talking to a guy who either kills his own meat or buys it from a farmer directly, right?
Ravionic says growing animal tissue in that Walmart back room.
I have a quarter of a cow in the basement. I have deer I kill, pig I kill, right? Like, yeah, the large majority of my meat consumption is either from the farm or something I've killed.
Yep.
So.
Kevin has a lot of that as well. Kevin's a huge fisherman. Kevin, what do you think about like lab grown meat and this garbage?
Feed it to the chickens and see what happens. I'm not eating that stuff. See, do their experiments on the chickens first and stuff. I'm not eating that. You're right. It doesn't have the protein. It doesn't have the nutritional value that an everyday meat has that you hunt or get from the market from your cows.
It's just, not only should they feed it to the chickens, they should film it so that we can see what the result is. Although chickens, I'm not even sure chickens is a good animal to feed it to, because chickens are idiots and they eat everything. So give me something that's a little more picky that would actually show signs of like problems and death.
My dog.
There we go.
But then again, he's a vacuum too. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to say, because I'd say if you could go pigs because they eat everything too, but
Pigs
You know,
do
if
eat
a pig
everything.
rejected
Yeah,
it,
you can't do
it's
that
hard to tell.
either.
And then cows, you know, that's
Give it to
grass
Zane. Zane said
Yeah.
he'll try it. He'll do the
I
first
actually
trials
didn't
of it.
say that. If you roll the
Okay.
tape back, I never said anything about whether I would have it or not. I was just reporting to you what I've heard about the different types of fake meat that are out there.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Very fair.
Yeah. So,
My
I
bad.
mean, I would have liked to have talked to the mission director for USAID. I think that would have been a very interesting conversation. Definitely would have been better than having Kevin on this show for sure.
Yeah,
but
nobody wants my opinion because it doesn't matter.
look, we discussed this ad nauseum and when this actually happened, when USAID was getting shut down and all that good stuff. So we don't really need to go into it too much more unless anybody has some last words before we move on to trivia. Anybody got any last words?
I do one more. Zane, I think you're right. The human charity has always flourished. Let it rain, let it work. Stop putting shut them down. I'm with Zane. I think a charity is always, American people and other people around the world are very charitable. I think it builds and builds.
and
I mean, not only that, the government stepping in actually makes people less charitable because they think, well, my tax money is already going to that, so I'm sure that they've got that taken care of. But when they don't, in fact, they're making it even worse.
Yeah, and
Nick,
and just to kind of pivot back to what I was getting at, I was saying, well, Mr. Beast was, funding, before we got off on the meat tangent, he was funding those water wells in Africa on his own, and I think he was going out there and getting a whole bunch of other internet influencers to throw their money into it and support that project. Yep. And I mean, that's a great voluntary thing, and if you remember at the time when we did the story, I just remember because I was the one who threw that story out there, but there was a whole lot of people who were whining that no, it's the government that should be providing these water wells to people, not some YouTuber. And it's like, I don't know, I care these people get water, and he's got a truck that's drilling wells and they're getting water. Now, what happens beyond that, I don't know, but at least there's a start there. So it's something. But yeah, I have to agree that, when you start portraying the government as charity, whether it's through, foreign aid to poorer countries or sometimes rich countries, I'm looking at you, Israel. You're incentivizing people to kind of write that off, and instead of trying to take care of people in their community, you say, oh well, this group here, they get food stamps, they get housing through this, they get this through that, and I don't know if it's coming up on there, but we kind of see that in a story in Minnesota.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
That is a story. I'm guessing that's the collateral damage story.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if that was in the list or not, but
I know. I failed as the producer this week. That's my bad. Not sending out.
That's my bad. Yeah. No, so I didn't know that. I didn't know if it was popping up, but we'll talk about that when we get there, and how the fraud of the system hurt someone who actually needs help and seems like she was running, living a somewhat fulfilling life, through the programs that existed, and through the fraud and the government waste there.
Heck yeah.
Kind of has, yeah. So we'll get there.
We'll get to that.
But first, trivia.
All right, y'all.
Oh boy.
You were cued well on that one.
Kevin, are you ready for this, buddy?
I'm glad you were able to ready to go on it, Jake. When it was like the first.
Heck yeah, that was perfect.
You hit it.
All right, everyone. Welcome to another week of Libations Trivia. As usual, we have trivia in 3 rounds. Round 1 is 8 questions, 1 point each. Round 2 is 6 questions, 2 points each. Round 3 is 4 questions, 3 points each. If you are in the audience, please leave a comment with your answer, and I will accept the first one that's not obviously a joke. Our contestants will write down their answers on a piece of paper or just say them if a piece of paper is not handy.
Whiteboard.
All right. Well, I was inspired for this week's categories by a comment of our guest last week, comedian Danny Johnson, who said, unless it's about food or comedians or baseball, then you're fine. So I thought, in honor of our friend Danny, I would have round 1 comedians, round 2 food, and round 3 baseball.
Oh, God. I might lose this one.
Alden should be here for this one. He'd be good at this one.
All right, round
I think
1.
we should switch. I think we should switch and put my wife on. She's all about baseball. I'm dead.
You
You can ask your wife for answers.
Oh,
if you
I could phone a friend.
You can phone a friend since you came on.
We'll
last
let you
time
have
and
it.
Help us out. Yeah, just mute yourself when you do, so we don't hear the answer.
All right, round 1, comedians. Question 1. Despite his indelible association with the phrase, what man only ever asked, "What's the deal with airplane food?" on television once on an episode of SNL?
He's forever known as this guy, though. It's so funny.
Yeah.
All right, Nick,
No.
I'm going with Seinfeld.
Jake,
Jerry Seinfeld.
Kevin.
Yeah, it was Seinfeld.
There we go.
Audience also has it.
Yay.
Jerry
5th grade
Seinfeld.
stuff. All right. Woo.
All right, Kevin got his only point of the game.
If you go on YouTube and search up Jerry Seinfeld's bit about airplane travel, you will find like a 5 or 6 minute clip that's all about airplane travel, and everyone thinks, oh, he's going to say it, but then he never actually says it. The audience says airline food is good. That's minus all the points. Question 2. Piss is the mildest of the 7 words you can never say on television. A list created by what man? The other 6 are words that I would actually not say. But this one is surprisingly mild compared to all the other ones that are on it. All right, Nick,
FCC guy.
Jake,
Mr. Standards.
Kevin.
Eminem.
Well, the audience really knows their comedy because this would be George Carlin.
Oh.
Unbelievable.
Oh, I should have known it was George Carlin.
Question 3. On one episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, Rogan had this to say about his time as host of what show? When I was like on season 5, I remember thinking, I don't know how much longer I can do this. It was the same thing over and over again. We did 148 episodes. After a while, it was like, how many animal dicks can you serve people?
That's great. And now they brought it back with Johnny Knoxville. I haven't watched it, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? It's back with Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah.
All right,
I
Nick,
enjoy me at Johnny Knoxville. Fear Factor.
Jake,
That would be Fear Factor.
Kevin.
That'd be Fear Factor.
Audience has it. It is my favorite show to watch with my great grandmother when I was like 3 years old. Fear Factor. Question 4. Perhaps fitting due to his repeated arrests on obscenity charges, what comedian released his autobiography How to Talk Dirty and Influence People as a serial in Playboy beginning in 1964?
Is this someone I should know? Any
Yeah.
hint?
This is somebody you should know, but I can't remember his dadgum name.
All right, Nick,
I got nothing.
Jake,
He was in Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Kevin.
Moon.
Audience appears to be stumped, but I'll keep an eye on it. This is Lenny Bruce.
Lenny freaking Bruce.
Okay, that's a name I've heard before, but I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, he was in Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Drives me crazy.
I haven't watched it.
The first 3 seasons were great, and he was awesome in it.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. Or his
Question
character.
5. What Canadian deadpan comic was removed as the host of SNL's Weekend Update after making fun of O.J. Simpson during his murder trial?
Why am I blanking on his name?
Nick,
I don't know. Norm Macdonald.
Jake,
Norm Macdonald.
Kevin.
Farley.
It is Norm Macdonald.
Oh, okay. Cool. I didn't know it was over OJ, and I didn't know he was Canadian. So
I knew he was Canadian. I did not know he got
I
fired
didn't
over that
either.
joke, though.
Question 6. Name any of
Yeah,
the 4
me neither.
impractical jokers pictured here. And although I don't usually accept first names only, I will accept the names as they go by on the show.
Oh,
It's so funny. I can't remember the guy at the back.
neither can I. I know the middle two.
Yep.
Well,
any of them? Just one, right? I just get to have to name one.
just one.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
one.
just one.
Good.
All right,
Okay.
Nick.
The only ones I could go for sure is I know Sal Volcano, and I know right behind him is Murr.
Sal
Jake.
Volcano, Joe Gatto, and Murr.
Kevin.
Oh, I had Al. Wasn't there an Al?
No Al, unfortunately.
Right. Okay.
Oh, okay. The audience is delayed again. The audience got both Lenny Bruce and
Norm.
Holy crap.
Norm
Like 16
Macdonald.
comments just came in at the same time. That was crazy.
StreamYard screwing up
It's
again.
these aftershocks.
Believe it or not, Kevin, StreamYard does not have their servers in Great Falls.
Hot topic around here. Data centers. Hot topic.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. Question 7. What man delivered the following line in the role of greenskeeper Carl Spackler in Caddyshack? Licensed to kill gophers by the government of the United Nations. A man free to kill gophers at will. To kill, you must know your enemy, and in this case, my enemy is a varmint. And a varmint will never quit, ever. They're like the Viet Cong. Varmint Kong. So you have to fall back on superior intelligence and superior firepower.
Go ahead, Zane.
Nick,
I'm going with Bill Murray.
Jake,
Going with Bill Murray.
Kevin.
That'd be Bill Murray.
Audience hasn't said it yet, but they're probably delayed again. It is Bill Murray. Question 8. The title of what 2023 Shane Gillis
Oh, I think I
special
got
was
two.
taken from part of a press conference in which Donald Trump described how the U.S. military killed the ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi.
Jeez. I couldn't tell you.
I can. Me and Steven went to see him live during this tour.
Let's see, Shane.
Yeah, in Atlanta.
Jeez, it was probably good.
Dude, it was
I
so
think this
stinking
was-
funny.
I think that tour was after the special came out because I went to see Shane Gillis during that
You're
the
right.
day after you and Steven did when he played Gas House Arena.
You're right. You're right. It was actually the tour after. You're correct.
All right, Nick,
I don't know Shane Gillis specials. Sorry.
Jake.
We sent in dogs. Beautiful dogs.
Kevin's shaking his head. I'll take that to mean you don't know.
I have no clue.
But it is beautiful dogs.
I did buy tickets for a ticket for the Dave Smith show in Pittsburgh coming up.
Nice.
A bunch of us are going on the on the Saturday at 7 p.m. one. So it's going to be a good time there.
Heck yeah. That'll be great. Is Robbie playing with him?
I'm assuming so. This was supposed to be, I guess, his St. Louis show, their St. Louis show. And
the one that got
pulled out
canceled.
of that and came to Pittsburgh instead to I guess a new venue.
Sweet.
Because I know the other, like the big comedy venues in Improv. And when I talked to Robbie over the summer, I'm like, you and Dave got to come down and do a show. And he's like, yeah, I think the only thing that I know of here is an Improv. And we don't do many Improvs for some reason. So
For good reason.
they found some other, there's a new venue and they're doing that one. So
Cool.
I'm excited. That's like March 2nd or something, I think. But yeah, if we got
that'd
a
be
whole
great.
group. If anyone's coming out, let me know. We'll hang out.
Heck yeah.
All right. The audience score is liable to increase if we get another avalanche of comments. But so far, I've got Jake in the audience with 6, Nick was 5, and Kevin was 3.
I'm hanging in there on stuff I don't.
This is
Right
the
on
only time I'm able to say this. Nick, eat a butt. I know after this round I'm going to be losing.
All right. Round 2, food. Question 1. The name of what fast food chain is an abbreviation of the name of its founders, the Raffle Brothers? In line with its logo, the brothers had planned to name it Big Tex, but that name was already taken by another business in the area.
Wait. What? Abbreviation of the name of its.
Brother planned and big.
Is it fast food?
Yes.
Is this a nationwide chain or something local?
Yes.
Like I've heard of it.
You've definitely heard of it.
Are they in Pennsylvania?
I would have to assume. Let me check on that for you real quick.
So it's not a sit down restaurant. It's literally like you can drive through it.
Well,
I've got to guess.
You can sit, like it has it inside, but,
Right,
there's also a drive-through.
There is a drive through. Okay.
Yes. And yes, these do exist in Pennsylvania, Nick.
Huh.
I've got to guess.
All right.
I have no clue.
Nick,
I'm guessing Arby's.
God damn it,
Jake.
that was my guess. Arby's.
Kevin,
Sorry, mine was Burger King. I went with that's the thing that popped in my head.
well, you've got the R from Raffle and B from Brothers, so it is Arby's.
Okay, how about that?
All right.
That was the only name I could
Love
think of. The first thing that my brain went to is Robbins Brothers. But then I was like, that didn't make sense. And then I thought of Baskin Robbins. That's BRRB. But yeah, R.
Question 2. If you just ate a jelly bean flavored like burnt rubber, wet dog, stink bug, or booger, what game are you playing?
What?
Mm-hmm.
What does that even mean?
Well, you'll find out. Nick,
Harry Potter.
Jake,
Zane's birthday game.
Oh,
no. Kevin,
I just put Dare. Dare.
That's a better guess than mine.
all right. This is a game put out by Jelly Belly. And the premise is they have their normal jelly bean flavors, but then they also make jelly bean flavors that look identical but actually taste like these awful flavors. And it is called Bean Boozled.
Bean Boozled? Huh.
Zane, I gotta say, that might be the most annoying question I've ever seen you ask on this show.
That's a pretty bad
No
one.
one is going to know that.
Nobody's ever played that game.
No one's played Bean Boozle. Like, I understand the more intellectual questions you ask, I'm just too stupid to get them. That one makes me want to strangle you.
So I've never played this game, but I have observed it being played.
Never
And I
even
know that
played
people
it.
know about it. You think that I would willingly possibly eat a gummy bean that tastes like wet dog? That's disgusting.
I thought Nick had a great one. I thought it was a Harry Potter game. I mean, that would be.
Sounds
They
like
do have booger flavored beans in the book.
They
that
do.
Oh, I like that. I like that guess then. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Watch 10 minutes from now a comment coming from the audience and they get it right.
Look, where are the dadgum comments? This is crazy. We're on good internet tonight, too. StreamYard is really pissing me off tonight. And just recently. Go ahead.
Gotta switch
Question
to River.
3. Among the various food products on offer at IKEA is jam made from what berry? Related to cranberries, this very tart berry is a staple of Northern European cuisine.
I don't know, but I have a guess.
Don't know what's in Northern European.
Me either.
The American does
Related
not
to a
concern
clan.
himself with the food of Europe, but I don't know, boysenberry.
Hey, I said boysenberry too.
Kevin?
Oh. I had
This
nothing.
would,
Don't worry about
this
me.
would
I'm over
be
here.
the
I'm not.
lingonberry.
Oh, the Loganberry. Oh my god.
I've heard of it, but I
Gosh.
I would never get that.
I would never gotten that.
Oh, New York is full of Loganberry. If you're from Buffalo, I should have known that right off the bat, man.
Let's see.
All right. Question
Zane,
4.
I'm gonna pull.
Oh
up
wait,
the-
well, I just got a truckload full of comments.
Yeah.
So let me. All right. So the audience got Arby's. Let's see. They got Bill Murray and Beautiful Dogs.
Zane, I'm going to pull up the chat so that I can see it, like on actual YouTube, so that we can tally their scores and stuff. I'm just gonna make sure not to look at it until I answer.
Oh,
Okay.
we trust him.
But
They did not get Bean Boozled.
That's an honor system.
I'm the host of the show, Kevin. I can do what I want.
Fair enough.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
Question 4.
I've got it pulled up and I've blacked out right now until I answer.
In the context of ice cream and other desserts, the abbreviation NSA does not refer to the National Security Agency, but to what phrase?
The audience is very livid that their things aren't getting read. They're saying it's rigged again. Oh,
Well, that's what you get for being in the audience and not a host.
yeah.
Be
No,
on
we're
the show.
counting your
Nick.
answers. Don't worry. I've got you.
The natural sweet approved.
Jake,
I said no sugar added.
Kevin,
I didn't have a clue.
Jake's probably right. That makes sense.
all right. What does the audience say?
So far they have not said anything. So it might be a YouTube problem because I'm looking.
Oh, now you did it.
I'm looking at their YouTube. Hang on, let me get the full live chat. Look, they still haven't commented. I think it's so the first answer is a joke answer. It says nut sauce almost. Gravionic says we don't know. Some quack still hasn't answered though. So go ahead and get the answer, and I'll tell you.
Well, it is no sugar added.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I figured Jake was right on that.
Question 5. What Latin American condiment, often used for grilled meats, is an uncooked sauce consisting of chopped parsley, chili peppers, and other spices, along with oil and vinegar or lemon juice?
What? Latin American condiment. Oh. I'm going to get this wrong.
So will I. It's fine.
I think the audience got it. Dadgummit.
Nick?
I said chimichurri.
Jake?
I said barbacoa.
Kevin?
Worcestershire sauce.
The audience says chimichurri.
And they would be right. It is chimichurri.
Dadgummit. I hate chimichurri, which is probably why I didn't think of it.
I like me a chimichurri.
I can't stand
tasty.
cilantro, and there's too much cilantro in that.
Oh, you're one of those people, the soapy cilantro guys.
Yeah. I'm a soapy cilantro guy. Somebody please make a meme of me being a soapy cilantro guy.
Hi, I'm a cilantro.
Question 6. 8 years after obtaining the patent pictured below, Harry Hohenzollern founded what company? And for our for our audio listeners, it is a patent for apparatus for slicing ham on the bone.
What?
Yeah, you gotta get those nice spiral ham slices. Nick?
So this is the Pittsburgher and me and talking. The only way to slice ham is to chop it like Isley's.
Jake?
I said Cuisinart.
Kevin?
Forget it. I'm not even on the
Audience.
same.
Audience says boar's head.
Oh,
that
that makes sense.
This is the Honey Baked Ham Company.
The only way to do it is like Isley's.
So the Honey Baked Ham Company actually makes amazing hams. So I'm okay with that.
You chop it like Isley's.
Stop saying chip chop.
That's
Stop.
that's what we do here. We chop ham.
Chippity choppity, get
Stop
off my property.
It's a Pittsburgh thing.
All right, at the end of round 2, we've got the audience was 12, Jake was 10, Nick was 9, Kevin was 3.
I know. I want
Into
some.
a topic I am not good on, so we'll see.
I used to be
wow.
good on this. I'm probably not good on this though.
Wow, they're
Right.
drinking. If they're drinking, I could eat a pizza. I mean, I was just in the middle of cooking a pizza. He's down.
I went to the gym and I didn't have dinner, and then I drank a bunch of whiskey.
I
I'm
am-
feeling it right now.
I got to make that into a T-shirt. If they're drinking, I can have a pizza.
Question 1. Despite his career batting average of 0.356, and
Dude,
excellent
don't read it
performance
like
in the
no.
series,
Stop. Go back. Read it like a baseball stat. No
What?
one says 0.356.
Say 356.
356. Read it like a baseball stat.
What
Zane.
man was accused of participating in the Black Sox scandal to throw the 1919 World Series and was permanently banned from baseball? In 2025, Commissioner Rob Manfred reinstated him, making him eligible to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Well, it's not the guy that I originally thought. Because it was way later.
He was
Yeah.
black.
He's still not eligible.
For a scandal, trying to throw it in.
I think me and you are thinking of the same person, Jake.
We're thinking of Pete Rose, Nick. That's
Yes.
who we're thinking.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying,
And that's way later.
And it's not. Is that Babe Ruth?
No.
All right, I'm gonna guess.
All right, Nick.
Something in my mind, in my drunk mind, is saying Shoeless Joe.
Jake.
I said the dirtiest player I know, Ty Cobb.
No.
Kevin.
Yeah. No, I was going to go Babe Ruth. I mean, he did all the other stuff. Why not that?
True.
Well, audience also has it. It's Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Up your,
Whoa, nice job, Nick.
yours.
Nice job, Nick.
I can't believe I. Wow.
What's in that bottle?
Well, as of right now, nothing.
Thinking
is done.
juice. Thinking juice is in that bottle.
He's playing Harry Potter again.
All right, question 2. In 2019, Mariano Rivera became the only man ever to be voted into the Baseball Hall of Fame unanimously. Rivera is considered one of the greatest of all time in what specific role?
It was actually my favorite role of in baseball is this particular role.
Nick.
It's the closer.
Jake.
Closing pitcher, also closer.
Kevin.
That would be the pitcher. Closing pitcher.
It is the relief pitcher or the closing pitcher, yes.
I mean, very specifically, he was a closer.
He came in for 1 inning every time.
Yep. I knew that one.
Question 3. Not content to limit themselves to normal statistics like runs and RBIs, sabermetricians have developed various formulae to calculate the WAR, which stands for what measure of a player's overall value across all activities.
Dadgummit. Moneyball's one of my favorite movies, and I cannot remember what the acronym stands for.
WAR.
Yeah.
Did the audience get the last one?
Yes.
Nick.
Walks and runs.
Jake.
Dadgummit. I said wins and runs, which doesn't
Kevin.
make any sense.
I was walks per inning, but
Audience. Does the audience have an answer on this one?
Not yet. I think it's a
All
YouTube
right.
issue actually tonight. I don't think it's a StreamYard issue. Shockingly.
Or they're spending a lot of time Googling.
Siri.
All right. Well, some of you got some of the words right. It's wins above replacement.
Oh, so I got half of it right. How about that?
You gonna give him half, Zane?
No.
I got a third. I got a third of it actually. So give me 1
Give me-
point.
You gonna
All
give him
right,
a third?
I'll give Nick and Jake 1 point.
Why does Nick get a point? Nick
Yeah,
didn't
I
get
said
anything
walks
right.
and runs.
Oh
I
wait,
didn't say
you're
any-
right.
I
I
didn't
thought
say
you
any of
got.
those
I
words.
thought you got one word right. Also, okay.
No, I
So
didn't.
I'll give Jake
Some
1.
some quack in all caps says we don't Google.
No,
Sure
we
you
just-
don't.
Siri.
Sure you don't.
All right, last question. What Yankee recorded at least one hit in 56 consecutive games between May 15th and July 16th, 1941? A record that still stands to this day. His marriage to Marilyn Monroe for 9 months in 1954 did not last very much longer.
No, there's no way that's right, but I'm gonna go with
Nick.
it anyway.
I'm going with Joe DiMaggio.
Jake,
I'm going with Joe DiMaggio.
Kevin,
Oh,
Roger Myers.
Maris.
Maris. That was from my. That was help from a friend.
all right. Audience,
They said Joe DiMaggio.
And that's correct.
Hey!
Boom.
Which means it actually ended up being very close. We've got Kevin with 6, Jake with 17, Nick was 18, and the audience was 21.
F that. Dadgummit.
I came out ahead of Jake. I'm good.
Another day, another loss. Unbelievable.
I lost 2 tonight. So
All right, well, guys, I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to go eat pizza. Thank you.
Go
for
eat
having
pizza,
me.
Kevin. I appreciate you coming on last minute and filling in. Brother, shout out the Cascade Effect.
Yeah. Shout out
Yeah.
to the Cascade Effect.
Yeah, just real quick before you go, what's going on with the season? What's going on with stuff that's going on in our cases? Just
So,
quick summary.
all of a sudden we have one case that turned into 3 different cases, and now we went from our whole thing just got turned upside down again. So we'll be having more episodes coming for season 2. So a lot of things got shot up into the air. Looking forward to another stressful and wonderful Cascade Effect coming up again on a YouTube or TikTok near you. It's gonna be a hair raiser.
Yeah, it is. Well, Kevin, appreciate it, man. Everybody go check out the Cascade Effect. It's the biggest show on PCC Network. It had 1.1 million views last year. So go check it out. It's
you want to run the
fantastic.
season 2 trailer again?
And yeah, well, we might run it later. But yeah, Kevin, thank you, brother. Go eat some pizza.
See you later.
See ya. All right, y'all. Yeah. Congrats, audience. You keep saying it's rigged, but you won. So shut your mouths. Quit your bitching. At some point, hopefully, we'll be off of StreamYard and we'll be beaming it directly to YouTube rather than this garbage. Although I will say, for those who don't know, Rumble is a very viable alternative to YouTube. It's where the vast majority of our views come from for this show.
Shout out to the Rumble people.
Shout out to the Rumble people. We put out, so I put out each trivia game. For those who can't watch live, I put out each trivia game in its own video on Rumble only. So people can go and play the trivia afterwards after each episode. So yeah, go check out our Rumble channel. Also, seriously, go check out Cascade Effect. This season's going to be a wild one. So could not recommend that more. All right. We're going to move on to collateral damage. A lot's been going on in Minnesota. A lot of fraud has been uncovered. Millions and millions and millions of dollars of fraud. However, that does not mean that uncovering the fraud and trying to negate the fraud and cut down and prosecute those who committed the fraud, that does not mean it didn't have some negative consequences. And here's a video detailing exactly that. So here you go.
Minnesota's fraud crisis came knocking.
We're here for the eviction.
Janelle Hansen, she goes by Sky, lived in a Minnetonka apartment
What?
when sheriff's deputies arrived,
I'm scared.
armed with an eviction order for Jane or John Doe.
I'm not Jane or John Doe. That's what's confusing.
Sky lived here as part of a Medicaid program called Integrated Community Supports, or ICS. It's designed to help adults with disabilities live independently in their own apartment with one-to-one daily assistance. She was ordered to pack up what she could carry
Grab what you've just packed because we need to exit the apartment now.
and get out.
No, we need to go. Come on.
Okay.
We need to go.
Let's go. How are you?
Go.
Okay, sorry.
Set out to the hallway.
Okay, Josh.
And like that, a vulnerable young woman put on the street.
Bye, house. Bye, house. What's bottles?
How could this have happened? Our investigation finds it's tied to the allegations of Medicaid fraud now rocking Minnesota.
We've documented Sky's life of homelessness for the past 8 months, living out of her car, tents, shelters, and cheap hotels.
I think I just got kicked out of the hotels for being too autistic.
Her former caregivers, American Home Healthcare LLC, are under investigation for fraud. They were billing Sky's Medicaid $421 per day, claiming they always provided 12 hours of service.
Most days was like 2 hours, maybe 1 or 2 hours.
Under investigation, the company and its owner, Jama Mohammed, stopped paying rent.
Okay, let's go. Come in. Here, go. Push this.
So Sky got evicted. Just one of the vulnerable people paying the price through no fault of their own for Minnesota's fraud crisis. Thrown onto the street, homeless.
They say that your home is in your heart.
Goodness gracious, man.
Heartbreaking.
That, yeah. I mean, I shed a couple tears first time watched that video today. These are the it's no fault of her own that she ended up in this situation. There's so many people to blame. We can narrow it down to two to talk about on this show, which is one, the fact that welfare like this exists, but two, the fact that this person who was running this organization that was basically stealing from Medicaid and stealing from the taxpayer didn't actually do their job, didn't actually give this woman 10 to 12 hours of attention every day, like he was billing Medicaid for. That person is ultimately to blame in this particular situation. And this is the kind of stuff that you don't want to see. And this is the kind of stuff that makes it extremely difficult to actually have a conversation with folks around why this fraud should be investigated and why these programs should be shut down. Because I don't think anybody out there who has any type of heart would advocate for this woman being kicked out on the street immediately. I mean, those officers, this is why officers this is why cops get a terrible name. They were the least concerned I've ever seen of someone being kicked out of their home who has mental disabilities. Like,
right.
I could not believe how they were interacting with this.
Like to some extent, like, okay, it's gotten through the eviction process and they have a court order, and at that point they have to execute on it. But the fact that it's like, okay, grab the couple things you can have in your hands and get out on the street is just like almost inhuman in the reaction to it.
It is.
A lot of this, I was listening to an episode of Sean Ryan that came out recently with a guy named Steve Robinson going through sort of these Somali fraud things going on with especially Medicaid and stuff in both Minnesota and Maine. And I mean, that kind of just got wild in it. I mean, they go through these home health care things. And I mean, to some extent, like you can see her, she's at least to some extent functioning. Like, okay, she needs a couple hours of help a day and she needs, an apartment paid for. But beyond that, she's kind of somewhat able to live her life and function on that. Needs a little bit of help, a little bit of support on that. Maybe can't hold a job or can only hold certain roles that are fairly low paying, so needs the support. But there's that episode, if anyone goes and checks it out, they're going through like how kind of the Somalis in these areas kind of cornered these markets and took over a lot of these home healthcare things, moved people who were severely disabled, that running programs sort of like this where it might be like 2 or 3 people living in a house, and you're supposed to have 24/7 care on them because they are much more disabled. But rather than putting them in some sort of institution, try to give them normalcy of here's a house. And the story of, a lot of these people don't speak any English at all. They go there, they play video games and just neglect it. And people who were previously like in good situation, like better standard of care, ended up getting moved off to these other places, off to these, lesser standard, just rake the money in care, and, have suffered from neglect and things like that as well from And so you kind of understand that, yeah, this isn't just like someone's sitting there and scamming money off of the taxpayer dollar. It's sort of this systemic fraud going on where, yeah, people who don't deserve to be hurt are being hurt and tossed out and neglected and just harmed, all in the name of allowing or not investigating or whatever, or turning a blind eye to fraud going on in the system.
Yeah. Zane, what are your thoughts on it, man? Because it's obviously a libertarian thing to get rid of all this welfare stuff, but man, when this kind of stuff happens, it's hard to ignore.
Well, it stinks because, it doesn't stink because of this. It just stinks. But you watch that clip, and there's a lot of people that would go, well, this is why we can't investigate Medicare fraud, because this will inevitably happen. It's kind of the same line of reasoning that says, well, we can't deport any illegal immigrants because we might accidentally deport or detain someone who's a U.S. citizen or something. So but all of life is trade-offs, right? And as I repeatedly cited a couple weeks ago when we were talking about, when this whole scandal blew up, anywhere between 1/3 and 1/2 of Medicaid and Medicare spending is estimated to be waste, fraud, and abuse. This is a prestigious study that found this. It's not some random, Reddit post. So that it's a humongous problem. And if you recall, your Medicare taxes are 2% payroll tax. So it's a substantial part of everyone's taxes that's going to this huge medical complex. And anywhere between 1/3 and 1/2 of it is waste, fraud, and abuse. So if you're trying to clean up a problem that's that massive, then unfortunately, I think things like this are probably bound to happen because there's not really a good way to avoid it if you're really trying to clean the problem up. And you have to clean the problem up because it's just untenable to continue letting this much wealth be squandered, this much time, this many real resources be squandered, absolutely put down the toilet because you couldn't be bothered to check. And you could say the police should have been more humane in how they handled it. Of course they were being jerks in that, but it's that's not even the point. The point is that she got evicted and there's no place for her to go, which it's the fact that there is no other option for her is also crazy and emblematic of the kind of thing that the fraud results in, which is there's so much bureaucracy and red tape around trying to legitimately help people that it's actually hard to establish a homeless shelter that actually does help. But the people that are really good at filling out the paperwork can kind of flood the market with all these fraudulent services that don't actually do anything just because they're really good at playing the game of the bureaucracy.
Well, keep in mind,
you hear all the time about churches that try to take people in and feed them, and then they get shut down because they don't have a food license or they don't have a license to let people sleep there overnight. So it's the very same problem of the fraud that of the program that she was a part of is also a big part of the reason why once that fraud is exposed, she has no other options. So not doing anything about the problem is not an acceptable thing to do. Now, I suppose there are there's so much fraud that I suppose you could start with the ones that literally do nothing except collect checks. You could start with those and then maybe move on to the ones that are mostly fraud, but maybe doing a little bit later. But if your ultimate goal is to get the most people the most appropriate help at the most reasonable price and not waste our resources, then your reaction to this can't be, well, we just have to let all the fraud continue or else this might happen again.
Well, time out, because the story was not, oh, this guy was exposed for fraud and thus, lost all the contracts. It was he quit paying on the apartment. So
Right.
I'm not sure if the story went into and said, oh, this guy got shut down and thus the payments stopped coming, or if it's this guy just started pocketing the rent and not paying it.
Right. Yeah. That is
There's
a
a little bit of a difference there, right? So
There is.
yeah, we do want to shut down the fraud and the waste, and yeah, that does cause things. But also there's, if you're able to look at it and say, if you're looking at it fair, if you were doing a real fraud investigation on this and you looked at that and you said, okay, this guy is obviously defrauding it, then you start and look, okay, who can take over covering this that's not running a fraud scheme and yeah, I know this is not ideal answers in a libertarian world, but I'm trying to look at it from the world we do live in.
That's fair.
Right. You'd look and see, okay, what providers might be able to take this on and start covering, the rent payments and the assistance that, have people that are showing up that are doing it that aren't obviously committing fraud, and trying to work it that way rather than, I'm assuming in this case, the landlord doesn't know who's in there. The landlord knows, okay, this person's paying the rent. The landlord stops seeing the rent comes in. The landlord files for eviction through the proper channels and doesn't quite understand or isn't aware of the real situation, because unless, it could be some giant faceless corporation that's running the apartment, but also I assume someone even at the local level would look at that, and if they had known the situation, and would go, let's try to figure something out that's not just straight eviction for a fairly severe autistic woman who needs assistance through her day, but at least she's able to live on her own with some assistance and we're not just warehousing her somewhere.
Yeah, that's to Nick's point. How is it the case that the fraud is so extensive that if you find somebody out for fraud, there's literally no other non-fraudulent programs that she can become a part of, and the only alternative is for her to be completely kicked out? I mean, that just seems like so strange. Yeah. And the fact that it's strange, hopefully, is what would make people realize this entire system needs to be taken apart and put back together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's why we promote the private charity to this, where, someone's there local that knows, okay, this person needs help, that person needs help. These are people with real needs. Please donate and help us support these people, right? Actual charity, not government entitlement programs where, you get the waste and the fraud and abuse, and you get people who are saying, I'm paying this rent, I'm providing these services, I'm billing you this shit ton of money every day. I mean, $11,000 a month, and they're showing up maybe 2 hours a day to help her. And, it's just that money's just getting pocketed.
Yep. Yeah. And, back in the day, this would have been handled by the churches and just the local community. And now that we live in this big world where millions of people live in a very concentrated area, and there's poverty and crime and all sorts of stuff that happens in these very concentrated areas, it's much harder. And the government has taken over a bunch of stuff and over-regulated a bunch of industries. It's much harder for communities to be able to take care of their own. And this is it's tragic. And she seems to keep a good attitude, which is, good on her. Like that little line at the end, like I've always thought your home is where your heart is. Like that, gosh, come on, man. Like that woman deserves some help. And I really hope she gets it. And it's like no fault of her own that she's out on the street now because of some guy who wasn't paying the bills and fraudulently.
He's probably driving a G-Wagon.
He's driving a G-Wagon. Yeah. So yeah. All right, y'all. I think it's about that time.
I am not fucking drunk.
Well, 19th through blue.
Every pretty girl deserves to go to a ball.
This is everything about it's a clam. I love it.
I gotta be honest with you, I feel like I'm a little bit too drunk to stand up. On Wiedersehen, asshole.
I'm drunk right now.
All right, everybody. Welcome to Drunkard of the Week, the part of the show where we show somebody saying or doing something that can only be explained if they're drunk, but they're not. You can submit your own nominations via X by tagging us at Liberty Libation or hashtag Drunkard of the Week, or by joining Peaceful Sea Network's Discord, which is free. You can submit your own nominations through there and be part of our behind-the-scenes conversations. So go check that out. Nominate, folks. This week's winner is...
Go. Is it possible, we ask every guest for like a exclusive thing that we can, Right. You know what I mean? Attention is currency and all that shit.
Well, I've thought about it. And I'm worried about this one.
Okay.
Because sometimes things are secret for a reason,
No, I get it.
I 30 years ago, I gave a kidney to my nephew.
Did you?
He was going to die. Okay.
Oh my God.
No, I'm joking. He died. We've got whiskey coming out next year. No one knows about that. It's top secret. I can't even tell you the name of it, but we have got a premium malt English whiskey.
You look like you were going to cry.
Yeah. Told you. That's what you get, boy.
We want to be free to do what we want to do. Yeah. We want to get loaded. Yeah. And we want to have a good time.
Ricky Gervais is our drunkard of the week. That was him appearing on a show that it's been popping up in my feed quite a bit recently. I think
I've caught some other episodes. Yeah, I think I've caught some.
Will Arnett was on there, and he was hilarious on that show. But I don't know what the show is called. I did not do my research on that. But my gosh, freaking hilarious! Yeah. Ricky Gervais. Nominate folks through our Discord or through X, and we will consider them for the winner each week. Very good. Yeah. All right, everybody. We're gonna move on to our final actual topic of the evening. Let me get it queued up here. So 2 days ago, actually yesterday,
I believe.
Yesterday, Mr. James Vanderbeek passed away from colorectal cancer. He was born in 1977, died in 2026, so he was 48 years old. He was a big part of my childhood as an actor. He was on the show Dawson's Creek. He was in the movie Varsity Blues. He was in the movie Rules of Attraction. He's in a bunch of stuff. He was in The Bee in Apartment 23, which I thought was incredibly underrated and hilarious. But the thing that I have connected with him for over the last few years is his basically his social media presence and what he's done online to kind of promote a slower, more meaningful lifestyle. And I've been following him for years now because of everything I said before. And one thing that his death really hit me hard. I knew he had cancer. I did not know he was on the verge of dying. So that was shocking news for me. But he's been posting over the last few years some very meaningful, thoughtful videos, and I wanted to share one of them with y'all and kind of discuss it. So here's James Vanderbeek on his last birthday, which was March 5th of last year. Last birthday on this planet, talking about stuff that was important to him. So here you go.
Today's my birthday, and it has been the hardest year of my life, and I wanted to share something that I learned with y'all. When I was younger, I used to define myself as an actor, right? Which was never really all that fulfilling. And then I became a husband, and that was much better. And then I became a father, and that was the ultimate. I could define myself then as a loving, capable, strong, supportive husband, father, provider, steward of the land that we're so lucky to live on. And for a long time, that felt like a really good definition to the question, who am I? What am I? And then this year, I had to look my own mortality in the eye. I had to come nose to nose with death. And all of those definitions that I cared so deeply about were stripped from me. I was away for treatment, so I could no longer be a husband that was helpful to my wife. I could no longer be a father who could pick up his kids and put them to bed and be there for them. I could not be a provider because I wasn't working. I couldn't even be a steward of the land because at times I was too weak to prune all the trees during the window that you're supposed to prune them. And so I was faced with the question, if I am just a too skinny, weak guy alone in an apartment with cancer, what am I? And I meditated and the answer came through. I am worthy of God's love simply because I exist. And if I'm worthy of God's love, shouldn't I also be worthy of my own? And the same is true for you. And as I move through this healing portal toward recovery, I wanted to share that with you because I think that revelation that came to me was due in no small part to all the prayers and the love that have been directed toward me. So I offer that to you, however it sits in your consciousness, however it resonates, run with it. And if the word God trips you up, I certainly don't know. I can't claim to know what God is or explain God. My efforts to connect to God are an ongoing process that is a constant unfolding mystery to me. But if it's a trigger, it feels too religious, you can take the word God out and your mantra can simply be, I am worthy of love. Because you are. Thank you for the love and prayers, everyone. Have a blessed day.
All right. That was one of his final messages to the world through his own Instagram account and other socials, I'm sure. But Zane, I'm interested to hear your thoughts on what he just described and what his feelings were after he got the cancer diagnosis and went through all of his treatments and stuff.
Right. So I'm really happy for him and his family that that's the mentality that he had, because I'm sure that really helped him and helped everyone around him, be at peace with what was going on. It's tough to watch something like that and want to nitpick it. So I only say this because I think I can offer something that might even make the good news that he was sharing be even better if you think about it in a slightly different way, which is that he said that, everyone is worthy of God's love, which I think if we were being more precise, we would actually say, no, you're actually not worthy of it. You've not done anything to deserve it. You're awful. I'm awful. We stink. But what's beautiful is that we actually receive God's love anyway. So it actually doesn't matter that we're all awful because you still receive it regardless of whether you're worthy of it or not, which I think for a certain kind of person, it can be hard for them to believe that they're worthy. It's hard for people to believe that, or for some people to believe that they can be worthy of love, and as I just said, they're probably not. But the great thing is that you don't even have to be, and that's that's some of the good news of the gospel.
Yeah, man. I thought it's just, for me, it was interesting to see his evolution from being this Hollywood guy to what he ultimately became, which was a guy who promoted God's love and promoted the gospel and talked about these things publicly on like Good Morning America and other shows like that. And that's generally a death sentence for a bunch of like Hollywood actors. But what he talked about in the beginning, like defining himself as an actor when he was younger, and then as a husband when he got married, and then as a father, and then like, what are you when you strip all of the stuff that you have, all of the relationships that you have, like, what are you when you strip all of that away? That is such an interesting exercise and a meaningful exercise for people to participate in, and to do like on their own time, like in their own heads, and try to understand like what makes you, and what are you outside of the things that you define yourself by. And I thought he did it in an extremely beautiful way. His last few years on this earth, I thought he gave just awesome nuggets of wisdom to the world. So if you want to go check out his Instagram, I highly recommend it. The last few years were phenomenal. That he was talking about a bunch of very deep, meaningful things. Yeah, I don't know, Nick, what were your thoughts on that? Did you Nick, we're about the same age, so like, was James Vanderbeek? What's that?
I'm a little younger than you.
I know you're a little younger. Shut your mouth. You're not bald yet. You know, once you get bald, then we'll be basically the
I
same
got
age.
them good genetics.
Shut up. What?
Nick Ciesielski has good genes.
Nick, what was first off, was James Vanderbeek like, was that, did you watch Dawson's Creek or Varsity Blues or any of those things?
I think I've seen Varsity Blues. I've never watched Dawson's Creek. I'm not super familiar. I just know the one line from what was it? The Goods Live Hard, Sell Hard.
Yeah,
the Jeremy Piven movie.
Yeah, but we're not going to quote that on here. We're going to get a strike if we do that.
I quoted it before the show.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know, Nick. What were your? Because me and Zane are very much on the same wavelength. A lot of the times when it comes to the Christian themes that we see in the world. So, like, what were your thoughts when you saw this video?
Yeah, I mean, I'm processing it. You know,
yeah, that's fair, man. It's a heavy one.
You know, it's a very great message, and I mean, you know, seeing that that the struggle ended up, you know, where it did with him passing yesterday. At least it seems like, you know, through that he's probably got the mindset of, well, whatever happens, you know, he's ready and able to handle it, and hopefully his family is too. And
yeah,
you know, it seems like at least in this past year, you know, being that this was about a year ago that video would have been posted, that he seemed, you know, in a good mindset there to handle whatever the news, you know, good or bad on it.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, it was actually it's a pretty tragic situation that today I found out has wound up okay. This is his family, by the way. He's got 6 kids, beautiful wife. They live outside of Austin on a farm. And what happened was they spent every dime they had on his cancer treatment. And so when he passed yesterday, they were broke. Jeez. And so, you know, his wife, you know, was going to very much struggle. She was a stay-at-home mom because he was bringing in the income. And so she was going to have to really struggle. Well, they launched a GoFundMe, and it's made well over $1 million at this point. So folks heard the call, and that it very much relates to the 2 topics that we've talked about previously tonight, which is like when people are in need, when things 6 kids are now fatherless, and the oldest I think is like 15, the youngest I think is 4, and they had spent every dime they had trying to get him well. And all that money was for not that it wasn't worth it, but it didn't pan out. And now the community, the people that knew him, the people that know his family, people that were just fans, they all pitched in, and now his widow and his kids will be able to survive for another at least few years. So I think that's a beautiful thing. I don't know. Zane, it looks like you're about to say something.
Well, maybe now is not the right time for this, but this honestly is why it's important for people to have life insurance, especially if they have families, because most of the time that's not going to happen to you, but in the off chance that it does, you want to make sure everyone's not going to be struggling financially.
To be fair, I don't know for a fact that they didn't have life insurance. I can't imagine that he didn't. It just depends on how much, the life insurance policy was and all that kind of stuff. But they could have had to cash out. Yeah.
There's probably something available through like the Actors Guild or something, right?
Dude, the Actors Guild is a mess. My wife is in it.
Sure.
It's a freaking mess.
Wow.
So I wouldn't rely on the Actors Guild for anything. But yeah, if he did have life insurance, then that probably helped, but it doesn't get you everything. And it doesn't get you like years and years and years, especially if you have 6 kids.
No.
Unless you're paying for that. Then maybe it does. But he had one hit show and then, a role here and there every few years, that probably paid pretty well. Actors get paid pretty well. I don't know if y'all know this, especially actors with a name. The day rate for an actor is about $1,200, and then they get residuals for life depending on how the show does. So like a day player who's just on a show for one episode in a season and just has like one line in a show is going to get $1,200, and then a tiny amount of residuals, like $3 a paycheck every quarter for the rest of their life. But like somebody like James Van Der Beek is going to get paid more than scale and is going to get paid a little bit more. So he could have afforded more life insurance. I don't know about their personal finances, but the fact that
I don't either. I'm just saying,
yeah,
if you're someone that has a family, make sure that you have life insurance.
Couldn't agree more, man. Couldn't agree more. But the fact that they had to spend that much money trying to get him better, it's wild. That's wild. They found out that it was stage 3 colorectal cancer, because I can't remember why, but they basically found it out during stage 3, which is not the optimal time to find all that out.
Should have done one of those tests where you put a piece of used toilet paper in the mail.
Zane makes a joke.
We were getting too serious. I had to do it.
That's fair. I mean, we're about to get very unserious, but this is just a topic that I wanted to talk about because it's my show. I host it. I created it along with Nick. Nick was one of the creators, but
I was there on day 1.
You were there on day 1. But James Van Der Beek was a huge part of my childhood, and I remember him fondly. And his death was extremely impactful for me. So, go check out his work. Go check out Dawson's Creek if you don't know what it is. It's like a teen soap opera type deal. It's awesome. It probably sucks compared to some of the shows today, but it was awesome when I was in high school and middle school. All right, y'all. We're going to move on. The final topic of tonight is just watching some funny videos. Try to get us out of this very serious and slightly depressing situation that we found.
Save just the absolute like heartbreaking stories for the end.
Yes, of course. Have to. But thank you all for watching. Go check out Cascade Effect. We scored our first major sponsor and advertiser on the show for Cascade Effect. The show got, like I said earlier, the show got 1.1 million views last season. It did extremely well, and 94% of those views were here in Montana. So we haven't advertised or promoted the show outside of Montana at this point. So if you have not watched Cascade Effect, highly recommend you go check it out. It is very good. Season 2 will be wild, and you can get it on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Rumble. It's biggest on Facebook for some reason, because Montanans love Facebook. I don't really know why. It's big on Facebook and TikTok. The oldest and the youngest social media platforms. So there you go. All right, y'all. We're going to move into some funny videos, and then we're going to end it for the evening. Let's watch some of these. These were all given to me by people in the Dollar Media Club. So enjoy. Oh, dadgummit. Let me refresh. Come on, internet. Give me something.
On a date this week, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, and the guy said I look like John Benet Ramsey. If she were still alive. I was like, you look like the killer if they'd found him. And we had a fun night of role playing. So. What are you even doing with that? I think I'll see him again.
What? Hey, you have something to talk about, right?
Holy God, I think he nailed it.
It's out there. It's
I know.
out there, right?
I thought he was charming. You know?
So are you?
Get it.
Dan, give him a minute. So are you dating?
Yeah, my
Goodness gracious. One of my favorite things is when newscasters can't keep it together. I love that. All right. Second one is Ted Cruz putting his foot in his dadgum mouth.
Has anyone noticed that Ted Cruz's face has just gotten really fat in the past couple of years?
Yes. 100%. And here's fat face Ted Cruz. Here you go.
And tragically, this pattern keeps on happening. Now, Senator Booker also said we should have bipartisan agreement. I think that's a great idea. We should have bipartisan agreement. How about we all come together and say, let's stop murder? How about we all come together and say, let's stop rape? How about we all come together and say, let's stop attacking pedophiles? And
All right, this clip, aside from that gem at the end, that clip was giving me real that one music video that Reason Magazine put out, where it was like either support my bill or you want people to die.
Yeah,
like
the classic.
You want the two helmets act, and like
Yes. Yeah, if we had a producer, he could have pulled that up at this point, but we don't have a producer at this point because Zach is still on paternity leave, like a turd.
That's a old but classic Reason video. Yeah,
it is. All right, and on a related topic,
there's microplastics in human semen now. We did it. And it's like across the board. It doesn't matter what class you're in. There's microplastics in billionaire semen. That's not good. Can't do that. There's micro.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, you gotta admit that's one of the best delivered jokes ever. I mean, it's awful, but it's hilarious. All right, this one really got to me. Libertarian on a date. This is comedian Ryan Long.
The national debt's at $38 trillion, and neither party seems to give a shit, by the way. Expanding the military, expanding entitlement. Economists were freaking out at debt to GDP ratios when they were at 60. Now we're looking at 125, and I know what you're probably thinking. Japan has a higher debt to GDP ratio. Well, Japan has most of their debt owned domestically, which is a little different, and more importantly, how's Japan doing right now? Because I'm looking at 30 years of flat growth. The younger generations of Japan are basically fucked.
Are you still waiting on someone, or did you want to order?
Could we just give her 30 more minutes?
It's been 2 hours.
Now the national debt's at
That about sums up libertarian dates. Yeah. All All right, our final one was submitted by Gravionics, who's been in the comments all night, who helped the audience win trivia. I'd never seen this commercial. He said it was a classic. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I cannot believe this is a real commercial. So please enjoy. There you go.
Hi, I'm Robert Lee. I own Coleman Liquidation. I sell mobile homes. I'm not going to waste your time. I'm going to tell it just like it is. These are mobile homes, not mansions. They come in two pieces. If that's what you're looking for, that's what I got. We used. Some of them have stains. We cover that up. He decorates them. She sells them. These guys help me move them. A bouncer in Birmingham hit me in the face with a crescent wrench 5 times. And my wife's boyfriend broke my jaw with a fence post. If you don't buy a trailer from me, it ain't gonna hurt my feelings. So come on down to Coleman Liquidation and get yourself a home. Or don't. I don't care. I'm Robert.
I don't know what to say about that.
That's got to be one of the best things put on camera ever.
Is that the origin of the phrase "my wife's boyfriend"?
I don't know, but it very well could be. That was phenomenal. I wish Gravionics was still in the comments so he could chat about it and tell us about it, because that was so stinking funny. All right, y'all. This has been Liberty Libations number 162. Go check out Peaceful Sea Network, peacefulsea.network if you want to search it on the web. And come back next week for some. Goodness gracious. I just got completely tongue-tied at the end of this episode. Come back next week for more Liberty Libations. We'll see you then. Peace.